Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 4 of the Your Ass is Degrassi podcast. As always, I'm one of your hosts, Kyle.
And I'm Dan.
And we're here, guys, bringing you coverage of every single episode of Degrassi ever made, basically. And we're starting things off from the beginning as we've been chugging through this series, which, of course, is the Kids of Degrassi Street. And we're here again today to bring you 3 more episodes from that show. Starting out with episode 8, Pete Takes a Chance.
And Pete is a first-time character. We've never met Pete at all so far. Chuck makes a reappearance, unfortunately, but he does grow a little bit in our books this time around.
Dude, honestly, just can you pay respect to Chuck? Chuck's a pretty cool guy.
Boy, should we go back and listen to the other cast? Because you're like, I don't fucking like Chuck.
Dude, I turned to Leaf ever since he bought that chick those skates.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We did turn a leaf over there.
He bought that chick those skates, and now I'm a little more, okay, Chuck, it's all right.
All right, but that chick who ran the grocery store, whatever the fuck her name is, can suck a dick, boy.
I'll just say, I think the way we ended off last week's episode was with this one episode of the show that was just so fucking dull. That thing about the rabbit.
Oh, God.
Yeah, remember that one? That was so bad.
Lisa, you lost a rabbit. No, that was you lost the rabbit. My dad's making a property line.
That to me is something that will return as a fever dream later in my life.
Yeah.
It's just as if it didn't exist, but I can see flashes of it in my memory. It's really weird, but bringing this episode, this is if things dipped in quality, I think this one's a bit better. This is more memorable of an episode, I think, Pete. Pete's a hustler. Pete's basically a hustler.
Pete's a hustler. This is a good intro to Pete because, Pete's trying to make some coin, but he doesn't want to do it the same way that Chuck does it, who, by the way, is his brother, which is very odd, but
They don't look like brothers. Not that you necessarily have to look like your sibling identically, but they just don't really feel like brothers.
Well, one's blonde hair, blue-eyed. The other one's dark-haired and blind and has thick fucking bulletproof glasses.
They just don't seem like, they're relatives, but nonetheless, they are. That's cool. That's fine.
Yeah.
And I guess we see Chuck kind of be a bit more of the reserved brother, I guess you could say.
Chuck is the responsible. He seems like the older brother. He's definitely older. We know that because Lisa's younger, and we get the impression they're in the same grade where they are. And
Chuck is friends with Ida
and Noel.
And Noel is in the club.
Yeah.
And Lisa is younger than Noel. I want to say by 1 to 2 years, hard to tell.
Roughly in that zone.
Also, Lisa's tight. Lisa's honestly, we don't see much of Ida lately. I'm starting to think they might be making Lisa the main character. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm okay with that. I like Lisa a lot better. She's just a nice gal.
She has charisma about her that is pure, but also a little intriguing. You can tell there's something more. There's a little something more to her.
Right.
But it's versatile in the way that, they do something new with it every episode. And you're like, all right, I'll roll with it. I guess you roller skates now. Fuck, why not?
Wow, I already think we're reading this too much into this. I forgot that this fucking episode started with one of Pete's other big ideas, which was, let's get a photo in the newspaper and see if we can win the photo competition and win $25. We'll get a photo of you roller skating down an overpass.
The guy's an entrepreneur. Call Shark's Den. Call
He's
Dragons.
hustling.
Shark Tank? Call Shark Tank. Call the Den. The Dragon's Den, located on 8th Street. Great guys over there, honestly. If you guys are ever in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, and you're in the need for some gaming needs, Peep Game on Dragon's Den. Those guys look good.
Yeah.
I think Pete would go there, because the guy reads comics.
Dude, Pete's into Green Lantern. He comes across a little advertisement. It goes, make a lot of money selling our joke stuff, which I don't really get, and they don't explain at all, actually.
I will mention that this episode aired on, what did we got on here? We got 1983, January 2nd.
And that is where the latter half of the season has aired in is 1983, right?
Most of it, yeah. Most of this, it's a weird thing.
82, 83.
A lot of these episodes, the next few episodes, there's only a few in 83, and then actually more of them take place in 84. This whole series really they'll shoot a few episodes through the year, it looks like, but then otherwise they'll take a fucking long break. By the time this whole thing ends, it's 1986.
Holy fuck.
And there's only 26 episodes, so they really shot this over a long amount of time.
Stretch this fucker
a total of
out.
7 years, actually, because Ida Makes a Movie was 1979. That's 7 whole years. The whole Marvel Universe took place in that time. Just the Degrassi Universe is breathing
Jesus
right here.
Christ.
But I did only bring that up because I thought it was hilarious that back in 1983, you could show a Green Lantern comic probably without maybe paying much of anything. But Nowadays, you got to pay a fucking arm and a leggy.
Oh yeah, if you want to show anything like that.
But yeah, like you mentioned, Pete sees an advertisement, whatever you want to say it, in the comic book, I guess. One of the comic books.
Yeah, well, comic books were a classic way to push ads back in the day.
Okay, yeah. I even even ones that exist. Sometimes you'll have like a subscription, like a checkout box or like fill out list, and they'll have some like other.
Check out this other magazine.
Yeah, they'll be promoting
whatever.
something else that's in relation, but this is just straight up like a make money quick, make money fast thing.
Yeah, so it's some dude who has fucking joke gags, practical joke gags, like a funny nose and glasses, ha ha ha, or like a slinky eyes, ha, you know, that shit that you're into as a kid, and it's kind of corny, but fucking... Pete doesn't care. He's trying to hustle it. He's trying to make a buck.
It's the kind of toys you would find at like Rutgers or like Chuck E. Cheese for our like American listeners out there.
Right.
For those who have no idea what a Rutgers is. Which you guys might know Fuddruckers. I think Fuddruckers is an American thing.
Is it?
I'm pretty sure it is actually.
Fuds?
Like Fuds. But I don't think like the game area Rutgers.
Rutgers. Right.
So just to clarify that. We needed people out there can understand.
Chuck E. Cheese, same diff.
Yeah, Chuck E. Cheese, Five Nights at Freddy's, all that shit, same thing.
So, I don't even know how we got on that fucking topic, actually.
I don't know, man. It's just one of those things. Like, that's what I'm fine with the show. It's like, okay.
So basically, we introduced Pete, and I think we just jump right into the fucking lesson of the day.
Whoa. Okay, well, let's back it up just a wee bit. So he gets the gags, and when he sells them to people in his class.
Someone's ain't satisfied.
But even before that, he partners with Lisa to do so. So him and Lisa
because he has to borrow her money to go in on for it.
Yes, and we learn early on in the episode, maybe even the first line, is that she's trying to buy her dad a wallet, and she's trying to get some money to buy her dad a wallet for his birthday.
Right. Pete's trying to hustle. He's trying to make some dough, trying to make sure fucking Lisa's taken care of.
Pete's more of a simple-minded man. I'm going to say that.
Yeah.
He has a one-train of thought, and that train is full of money.
Yeah.
He's just trying to get that cash.
He's trying to get that
He's
paper.
just trying to get that paper, that cheddar, that skrill, that dollar, that yayo, whatever it is. He wants it.
I don't know about yayo, but...
We'll see. Until the show progresses. Yeah. The way this is going, I don't know. Shit gets dark every now and then. He's reluctant to really care about anyone else. He just kind of wants to get some money, I guess. It seems like he kind of wants to help Lisa, but later on we found out he doesn't really care. But nonetheless, they get these gags in, like the whoever they bought it from, they send them a shit ton of toys.
Yeah. And
they start selling them to kids at their school, and they make some money off it, basically. But we also see earlier on that he's like someone came to the door to sell some tickets.
Pete's he's splurging on raffle tickets because the raffle is for a draw of a prize of $100, $50, and $25 for first, second, and third.
Right.
And Pete's thinking his odds are pretty fucking good if he gets these raffle tickets. So he takes the money that he's supposed to use from selling these gags.
Right.
Instead of paying back Lisa the $13 she lent him to get the gags, he decides, I'm going to make Lisa even more money by buying these raffle tickets, and then we can split $100 instead of fucking, whatever he made, $20 because he bought 20 raffle tickets.
That makes sense to me.
So,
honestly,
I get it. He's trying to hustle. But he's also risking it for the biscuit.
He's
playing around with gambling. There's a lot of references to ending up like Dad, who's in jail.
Which we can. Is it time we can play our favorite game of the show now?
Basically, I got a couple.
Can we get into it?
Just one more quick thing. So basically, Chuck says, "Would you rather? I know you're trying to make money, but would you give up your friends for money?" Whoa. And Pete actually doesn't say anything.
He doesn't say anything at all.
He doesn't say anything at all. He thinks about that shit real nice and hard. And then the next day, he goes and sells his raffle tickets for I think 75 cents, like a 25 cents off or something. And then he makes back most of the money, and he says, forget the raffle, Lisa. I didn't want to lose you as a bud. Let's go get your dad that wallet. And then the episode ends. So, Kyle, even
before that. Our other favorite game. How did Chuck's dad go to jail?
Gambling, 100%. With this episode, it's got to be gambling.
If you don't remember from the last episode, we talked about how the altercation sort of thing that happened between the store owner and Chuck, they're talking and there's this long pause where Chuck's like, well, you know what happened to my dad?
And they never tell us.
And you think he's going to say it, but he doesn't. So since then, we've been basically playing the game, how did Chuck's dad go to jail? And I think he might be right, Daniel. It sounds like it might have been gambling.
I think it's a gambling issue here. He got money hungry.
They brought it up way too often. Of course, it's apparent that his dad's not in the house, and
Fuck,
just
they
see his
make
mom.
it too much apparent, especially since, I mean, I'm guessing we'll never ever see Chuck's dad.
Oh, dude, if that becomes a plot point, fuck, dude.
That'd be
Also, I need to bring up
fucking
one
fire.
thing. There is a moment where one of the kids who's actually selling the raffle tickets, I think, or the lottery tickets, he like comes to this one kid who he's like, "Hey, you want to see a naked lady?"
Oh, yeah. 'Cause
Like, dude, that caught me off guard, to be honest.
that's the only way that they introduced this character.
Yeah. Well, did he come to the door selling tickets?
No, they introduced the character who got the stuff on his eye from looking through the telescope.
Right, yeah. And that's eventually the kid who is upset with one of the toys he bought.
So this
Kinda
kid
forgot
is
to bring that up,
basically
I
the
guess.
shittiest kid ever. He's just
fuck,
like,
he sucks.
I hate school, I hate everything, I need a refund, I hate this, and
I guess that's the other part of the episode. We just, like, is already leading my head, to be honest. I kind of forgot about it.
Honestly, it barely exists and only exists for one purpose, and that's just to put a little bit of pressure on Lisa to get her money from Pete.
Right. But
Otherwise, she wouldn't be in that big of a hurry. She's like, my dad's birthday's next week.
I do think it's kind of weird because what happens is that the kid who bought this toy wants to not go to school or get out of school. From
He
his
doesn't
mother.
like school, so he's trying to fake puke.
It's a fake puke toy kind of thing. It was like plastic things. Sometimes you'll see it with like fake bird shit. People put them on like, or fake cracked glass. They'll put them on people's windows.
Yeah.
Kind of something like that.
Basically, same
So
idea, yeah.
he buys one of those and it doesn't pan out in the way he wants it to. So he actually takes it to Pete, and Pete tries to do it for him in front of him. Then he gets into even more trouble. This other kid.
And it fucking works big time, though.
Well, it's true. He got out of school. As far as I'm concerned, he got what he
Got
asked
out
for.
of school. He also fucking got some laughs out of it, which is exactly what Pete guaranteed.
Also, then they go to like his weird fucking older brother who shows up. This is where things are weird for me though, because his older brother is there to like do his dirty work and like
Yeah.
get his money back. But then he goes to Lisa. Why does he go to Lisa and not Pete? Pete's the one who's like.
She was part of the team that sold him that. So
Yes, that's dirty though. Like,
Yeah,
Lisa's
fuck-
like so innocent. Like, oh, what's going on? Oh.
this chubby fucking brother rolls up. He goes, "Oh, we're gonna have a problem in a minute. Oh, I oughta take a look at this knuckle
Are
sandwich."
you gonna get her better look at these?
Yeah.
He has his like knuckles in the guy's face. It's weird, but you're right. The episode kind of concludes with.
But Canadian culture's always been centered around fighting a little bit, so I get the presence of this.
True, we've been fighting hard. We're soldiers. Really.
Fuck, we're mostly Scots, basically, right? And they were Scotchmen.
I actually don't know, to be honest with you. I don't know
Yeah.
much about Canadian like history. Happy Canada 150, by the way.
Nova Scotia, New Scotland. Anyways, we'll get into the history
Old
later.
Canada, Upper Canada, Lower Canada. There's something around there that happens too somewhere.
I don't know.
Yeah, there's Upper Canada and Lower Canada.
That was a thing?
That's a thing. Then it just became Canada eventually, and like Quebec was in the middle. I'm pretty
Oh.
sure. Yeah,
Fuck.
the more you
Anyways.
know. This might be a thing. Like ongoing, we might learn a lot of Canadian history. Just sharing
We
thoughts.
might, you know.
Just sharing some thoughts. Then, just the way the episode kind of ends is that, Pete kind of decides that he shouldn't have been just basically stealing Lisa's money.
Yeah.
And gets the money back by selling his own raffle tickets, which...
Well, he sells the raffle tickets that this other guy had sold him
so he
to other
hustles
kids.
even more, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, it's kind of a double hustle, really.
He's like, at like my mind, it's like, the raffle's about to get announced, so he was probably doubling up. He's like, well, $2, last call.
That's fucking true,
Do you know what I'm
actually.
thinking? He's probably thinking, oh, it's about to call him. The last chance to get him.
Yeah,
$2 each.
That's fucking true. And then he walks away from the raffle
And he has a fucking sack.
dude
full of
has a
change.
sack full of change for
And he's like, I'll
sure.
make sure you get the nicest wallet.
Yeah,
you want,
let's get the
Lisa."
fucking nice wallet, Lisa.
Okay, well then I guess we can get into our other favorite game of the show, of course, Daniel, which is what's the message of the day or the lesson of the day, whatever we were told.
Have you guys ever heard bros before hoes, hoes before bros, all these kind of things? It depends on whether you're male or female or a different gender. But
That's what you're trying to get at.
well, what I'm saying is, the message of the day is choose your friends over money, guys. Friends before anything else, right?
But like,
Friends before.
what about fuck bitches get money?
I mean, that's the lifestyle Pete was living, Kyle, but where did it get him?
I guess he didn't get it anywhere really. He just had the money. I think Pete honestly should stick to his guns a bit more though. The guy kind of gets told.
Dude was
what
hustling,
to do.
yeah, true.
As far as I'm concerned, he's successful on his own.
He's a fucking risk taker, boy. No one else is willing to take them risks, and he's got some fucking smarts.
The guy has gusto. I think Pete has gusto.
gusto. Yeah, it's a good word.
I'm about that. But you're right. I agree with you. Friendship lasts longer than currency. I'm gonna say that.
Wow,
That's why I'm gonna put it right
That's
there.
beautiful, dude. That deserves a snap.
Thanks, man.
Maybe a snap right there.
I mean, I don't get many snaps. I appreciate that. Yeah. Okay, well, we're gonna end it here just quickly. We'll bring it into a break, guys, and we'll come back right after with another episode of the Kids of Degrassi Street. Stay tuned.
And we're back here, folks. We've just sat down to watch our second episode of this episode of the second viewing.
A lot of episodes thrown around here.
Of the second viewing of the Your Ass is Degrassi. Sorry, Chuck's taking me for a loop because in this episode, he's got to make a choice.
This is, of course, under the second viewing branding. So, guys, just it still applies. It makes sense.
It works.
Of course, this episode in question, though, is number 9. Chuck Makes a Choice. Originally aired on, of course, September 1st, 1983. So
the last episode on the first disc.
Yeah, we finished the first disc finally, and God, did it feel like that took a while to do.
Seemingly endless, Kyle. And in this episode, I guess Chuck is a stagehand on a play in which Ida, our main bitch, quite literally, is directing.
It's great to know that Ida's back in town. And, we haven't seen her for a minute.
Ida's back in town. I don't know if it's great to know that she's back in town, but she's back nonetheless. And Chuck and his brother Pete are both helping in the show. Pete is Robin Hood.
He's Robin Hood. He's actually an acting role in this play, which I guess is like Robin Hood and his merry men kind of thing.
Yeah.
Sort of idea.
Yeah, a very shortened version of it from
honestly,
what we see.
like, this is already fleeting my head. These things happen too fast. But to this show's credit, a lot fucking happens.
Yeah.
Like, in all honesty.
Like a lot of nonsense, kind of. It's just kind of like...
Well, there is a couple key points of this episode, I suppose. Like, for one thing, we basically have Chuck going to see his father.
Yeah, we gotta bring this up.
So this is really the biggest thing.
In the last fucking recording, we're talking about like Chuck's dad and what happened to him. This episode, we actually fucking find out pretty close to what happens to Chuck's dad.
This is on pretty close because I think maybe we'll spend the rest of this episode maybe putting the puzzle pieces together.
Because I think that's really all that matters about this episode.
But before we get there, we'll just essentially get to the point here that Pete is reluctant to go see his father, while Chuck is more inclined to. But meanwhile, Chuck's starting to see a biddy. He's starting to see a lady girl.
Chuck's got an in for this one biddy.
I think her name's Tammy.
I didn't get that at all.
I'm thinking it'd be Tammy. That's what I guess. Tammy or Tawny or Tina. No, sorry.
Tina,
right. You fat lard, come get some dinner. Right. Yeah, no, it's Tina. Sorry, not Tammy. So him and Tina kind of hit it off, so to speak, and they decide to work on some of the stage paintings for the play at Tina's house. And while he's there, there's some little like insecurities about how his clothes are ripped, and Tina has a very nice house, and her dad is making comments on how Tina's ripped sweater makes her look like a ragamuffin.
Yeah, you don't want to go out like a ragamuffin there. We got to patch up that sweater there, amigo.
Right, and so he's feeling self-conscious about his ripped jeans, which his mom is very reluctant to fix.
Yeah, his mom's like, well, fuck, Chuck, you fix those your fucking self there, boy.
Like, it just adds more to the idea that these kids have the worst lives. I gotta be honest.
The kids of Degrassi Street
have it pretty rough. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Got it pretty rough. They gotta patch their own clothes. They gotta make dinner for the fam at the low age of 11 or something.
Have you seen Noel? Noel literally fucking does everything.
Yeah, Noel feeds the fam and works for the fam.
He's always hauling shit. Like any scene you see Noel, he's always lifting something. The guy doesn't stop.
Noel's always working, boy.
Oh, God. But yes, we do see Chuck go to a bowling alley to hang out with his dad. And
at first it's confusing.
Right off the bat, we're like, what the fuck? Why is his dad here? What's going on? Like everything is running through my head. I'm like, okay. And Pete's a little bit of a bitch, honestly, and doesn't want to go see his dad. He wants to work on the play a bit more.
I gotta work on the play.
And I guess to each his own, but like, dude, like go see your dad. Unless you have some issue with him, which it doesn't seem like he does.
Not at all. Matter of fact, the opposite.
Yeah, it seems like he likes the guy quite a bit. Anyways, they're just chatting about, everyday shit, and after they're done playing, after they're done their bowling session, the bowling games or whatever, we find out that I guess we can solidify this, that his dad lives at a halfway house.
Yes.
So
yeah, we can't solidify it. They mention it a few times.
They do mention that. So he's on his way to maybe getting out of
Well, he's halfway.
He's halfway.
At least.
We're halfway there. He's living on a prayer. So,
anyway, so dude,
his dad kind of looks like Bon Jovi with less hair in a way.
Yeah,
if this was a visual medium, strictly I'd put up an image of this guy and Bon Jovi. His dad's got
quite a fucking bowl cut, actually.
I'm saying it's less hair, but if you just look at the straight off facial features, bit of a Bon Jovi-esque look.
Yeah, that's true.
Just consider that, everyone out there. I'll put this in the what should we call it, the description and the show notes, because I've been doing that. I forgot to mention that earlier in the last episode.
Oh, yeah.
It's there. They have been there. We talked about it for a couple episodes. They're there.
Yeah.
They're there. So we'll link this shit too. And you guys can peep game. There's a great channel. I think it's Degrassi TNG. Those guys hook it the fuck up on YouTube.
Every episode of Degrassi ever.
It's pretty fire.
But let's talk more about Chuck's dad, because
there's a lot.
There's a lot to mention. We first see him at the bowling alley. We're going, what the fuck? He must be in a halfway house. Then it's confirmed he's in a halfway house. Then Chuck's hitting it off with this biddy, and he's embarrassed about his lower quality of life and the fact that his dad's in jail and her dad is a fucking priest.
He lies to her and says
he lies to her. He's like, my dad's a pilot, which causes a rigmarole, and his dad finds out that he's embarrassed of him coming to see Pete's play because he doesn't want Tina to know that his dad's in fucking jail.
Things get so convoluted so fast in this
show. It really for almost no reason at all. But
his dad, for the record, is a bit of a bitch.
His dad's got a temper. He's like, you fucking tell Pete yourself, you little fuck.
He's like, I know what I'm not wanted.
Yeah, I stormed the fuck out of here. Boof, boof, boof.
We were just like, the fuck.
And then Chuck comes through and he's like, I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings. And he's like, oh, fucking ain't no worries.
Well, he's like, he does a weird skit where he like steps halfway down the stairs and he like saunters down the rest of them.
It's like he's excited to come down the stairs, and then he looks at what son it is and he's like, oh, it's like, Chuck.
Surprised to see you here so quick.
Yeah, that's what he fucking said. It's like,
he's a
what
dick.
a little sassafras little bitch.
Like, guy needs to chill. You're in a halfway house. Your kids like are like 10. Let them fucking live a little.
Yeah, and they're coming to see you regularly.
And also, honestly, Chuck also a stand-up guy. I gotta say that. I think Chuck's stand-up. And so is Pete. Pete's a little bit on the riskier side.
I gotta say, Chuck and Pete starting to become some fave characters around the show.
They have some good dynamics. You know, they both have their own like skit.
They're hustling. They're stand-up fellas.
I will say that to this show's credit, each character kind of has very much their own style.
It's true.
You know, and like as much as Ida was in so many of those first episodes, the show succeeds with her not being there.
And
it's
actually,
not like she needs to be there.
Ida's always remained a film movie freak.
True, and now she's like, I guess a director of a stage play, so that's cool.
Well,
she's still a bitch about it though. She's like,
is this your play? Okay.
Does that look like working? Can you guys start painting those trees? It's supposed to be Lincoln green.
Yeah, that doesn't look right. Move those fucking trees over there.
Ida, just take it a step back, please. Okay, well, so basically what ends up happening though is our good buddy Chuck goes back to the halfway house, talks to his dad, and say, hey, you know what? I overreacted. Still come to the play. Pete really wants you to be there. So do I. And then his dad's like pretty realistic about it. He's like, I can't just fucking leave here willy-nilly. I gotta ask, but I'll do my best. I'll try and be there. And then he shows up to the approximately 2 minute and 33 second play, and he sees, I guess, Pete do his little line scenario.
And he meets Pete's fucking biddy, Tina,
and she's like, "Oh, your dad the pilot?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, well,
yeah, well about that."
And then the episode ends in a Playing with Time production logo plays at the end, which is nice. But let's get into the one of the two segments that we love to talk about.
First of all,
is how did Chuck's dad go to jail?
There's a couple of things tossed around here.
I would say this might be an exclusive episode of this segment, or an exclusive segment of this. You guys know what I'm talking about. Yeah. This is an exclusive game because right now we might have some actual leads.
We've got some facts because there's
a scene. If we lay it on the table a bit more, we might be able to actually figure this out.
There's a scene in which Chuck is on the stage and he kind of walks to the bottom of the stage and he comes across Pete with a group of his friends or stage mates.
Right.
And Pete's telling a story, and one of Pete's stories is, yeah, so my dad's like Robin Hood, except Robin Hood didn't have to go to prison.
Right, and even slightly before this, Pete's talking to his mother, being like, so is Robin Hood a good guy or a bad guy? And she's like, of course he's a good guy. He's like, but he steals, and aren't people who steal bad?
That's right.
Yeah, and she's like, well, he did it for good reasons. And he's like, kind of like Dad? And it's like,
and she goes, yeah, kind of like Dad.
That's basically is what they get
Except Robin Hood didn't have to go to jail.
And then, as you're mentioning, he's kind of telling stories about his father pretty much to, like, the fucking public. Which is still a little weird, I gotta be honest.
It is weird, but, I mean, I guess a kid is gonna tell everyone where his dad is at.
I feel like, honestly, Pete doesn't give a fuck about anything. I get that vibe about Pete. I don't think Pete cares about anything at all.
I don't think he really gets.
Do you think Pete's like socially awkward a little bit?
I think he's got some maybe social issues.
I could see that.
But he's just super open and honest.
I'm overall into it. Pete's pretty much a dope character in my mind. He is telling these stories. He's like, yeah, my dad's kind of like Robin Hood, and then it's kind of blown off about exactly what they're talking about. And then Lisa jumps in. She's like, oh, tell him about the story about where your dad had to fight off those poker players or something like that.
Yeah.
And he goes, yeah, one time these guys owed my dad money from a poker game, and he had to beat them up. And you're kind of like, whoa.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Backing on up?
Yeah. So at first you're like, wait a second, did he steal? Or was he gambling? Or what the fuck's going on? Or both? So we're not really sure.
It's hard to say exactly.
It's hard to say, but it's got to have something to do with money, stealing, gambling, and fighting. Those four things.
What was our idea from the last episode, too? I'm trying to remember right now.
It was gambling.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, you're right. It was gambling. So, okay. So, I mean, the poker thing's trying to make a bit more sense in a way, right?
It's got to have something to do with it.
But the way it's brought up sounds like another thing. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Because he's kind of telling the story of his dad being in jail, and then Lisa's like, oh, and tell him the other story.
Right.
So it's kind of
which makes it sound like...
Dude, the show's like fucking Memento. You close your eyes for 2 minutes, and you know what the fuck's going on. Like, they say, like, such little bits and pieces of everything. Like, it's hard to get the whole fucking picture.
Well, it's like you think... They almost lead you on to believe that he did go to jail for gambling,
right?
But then they lead you to believe that he went to jail for fighting.
Yeah,
and then they kind of they lead it in a totally different direction. It's like what the fuck did he do?
He sounds like, and they mentioned he keeps saying he was a con. He's a con.
He's a con. Dad's a con. Do you believe he really says all that stuff?
Con.
You think he really loves us?
Music.
Yeah.
And we know you up front. That's him, right?
Wow.
Akon.
Must be way back in 1983.
Dude, you think Chuck's dad's the original Akon?
Okay.
That's what I'm thinking.
I don't think so.
I don't know. Like, this is an ongoing mystery. I think we're getting close to cracking the code, though. Because I think we've seen so much of Chuck's dad.
Do you think we'll fucking see any more?
Well, hear me out. I think he's going to come back when he leaves the halfway house, and we're going to see, like, some dynamics of him getting back into the family.
Think so?
That's what I think. That's my thing. That's my.
Fuck, who knows? I thought maybe fucking Chuck would be erased from existence.
Well,
maybe we'll see never.
At this point, I never thought we'd fucking ever see Chuck's dad. And the fact that we got a whole episode about him pretty much leads me to believe we might get some more info.
Right.
That's all I got to say about that.
Maybe.
And, you know, it's been a fun time playing How Did Chuck's Dad Go to Jail? But this one's going to have to be continued still because we still don't get all the answers. If we ever will, I hope we do.
Some clues. However, I think we should jump right into it. What is this episode's lesson of the day?
I don't even actually know, to be honest with you. What is lesson of the day? Like,
I guess
be honest.
Or don't be ashamed of your family.
Don't be ashamed of your family, but yeah, I guess that makes sense. You know, like, he doesn't want to like seem or just be.
Don't lie. Be honest.
Proud of who you are, kind of thing.
Yeah, proud of where you come from.
Proud of who you are. Proud of where you come from. You know, you have respect like for people who raised you. You know, it's weird because Chuck seems to generally care for his dad, but as soon as the lady gets involved, he's more defensive. But to be fair,
he didn't want anyone to know that his dad was in jail. He's like, I love you, Pops, but I gotta hide you for a minute.
But what I do think is funny is everyone he brings it up to, like Noel and his brother, like, fuck, everyone knows.
Yeah, he's like, boy, they're gonna find out sooner or later. And he's like, so later is better.
Oh, that's a classic line. That was good.
That was good.
Everyone says, though, like, dude, the whole school knows already, but apparently this Tina chick doesn't know anything. So he's like, nah. He's like, later's better.
He's like, I'm gonna fuck her first and then I'll let her know.
Honestly, like, Chuck's trying to tap that.
Oh, dude, Chuck's trying to tap that strange, boy.
It's fairly evident. Will he? We'll find out, guys. We're going to take a nice little break here. This episode is throwing me for a loop a little bit. Like, the whole Chuck dad saga has taken up way more of this show than I realized it ever would. I gotta say.
It's, this like, is what, third episode talking about it?
At least. Like, there's been a couple episodes for sure where we're like, I think it was mentioned maybe the first time we even saw Chuck.
Yeah.
Because I remember he was trying to make some dough And Noel was like, ask your fucking dad or something like that.
Oh, yeah, and he's like, my dad's in jail.
God. Shout out to Chuck, though. I think Chuck means well. All right, we'll take another break. We're going to go watch the next episode, episode 10, which we're getting there. Episode 10 out of 26. And we're going to come back, and we'll be bringing you some more thoughts on the Kids of Degrassi Street here on Your Ass is Degrassi.
And we're back again, folks, with the second disc of Kids on Degrassi Street. This makes for a third episode of this episode.
Of Your Ass is Degrassi.
Of Your Ass is Degrassi.
Which I will also mention is known from my boy Callan in Saskatoon Jr. He gave us the name for the show, by the way.
Respect.
He hooked us up with that. I was like, man, what's a good name for a Degrassi podcast? And he's like, Your Ass is Degrassi, bruh. And I was like, that's just too good not to pass up.
Also, shout out to Callan.
So before we get into this one, I just need to say that, like, this show's starting to drag on pretty heavily here.
Feels as if it'll never end.
Like, we only watched 3 episodes, which is honestly only about like an hour, over an hour and 15 minutes kind of thing.
Yeah.
Feels like about 3 hours worth of content.
Especially when you get a dull fucking episode like this one. Like, last episode was pretty fire because we learned some shit about Chuck's dad.
Which is honestly the only ongoing plot point I'm really looking forward to. Which we do see Chuck briefly in this episode.
We do see Chuck briefly in this episode, which means he's not totally disappeared yet.
But that being said,
he's not in any titles.
You were more correct than I were about him coming back pretty quick. I wasn't sure if he'd come back the next episode, more or less. But it doesn't seem like it's going to be for a minute.
Fucking for sure. We're introduced to a new character named Billy in this one because this episode is called...
Oh, this episode, of course, is episode 10, Billy Breaks the Chain. Released November 9th, 1984. Almost over a year later than the last episode. So they're really jumping ship in time here right now.
And it's got to be sometime around Halloween because...
Yeah, you know, they do a little bit of a Halloween skit. Question, though. Is Billy the guy from the episode with Pete and Lisa selling things who's selling the raffle tickets? Is that Billy?
Oh, fuck. That might be Billy.
I'm not entirely sure. I think it might be Billy.
Yeah.
So I think we've seen Billy before, I guess.
We've never been introduced.
No, we may have got his name, but, like, this show, like, all of the dialogue audio is always so muffled and you don't really know what's going on and you can't really quite make out exactly what's being said all the time.
And it's all children that are Canadian children trying to act in the 80s.
Yeah, a boot, maple syrup.
They do say a lot, actually.
They do. Is that like an Ontario thing? Is that an Ontario thing? Is that where the whole stereotype comes from?
I have no fucking idea.
Like, I mean, I always thought...
Well, fuck, rig pigs always say. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it kind of sounds like... I always thought it was just bullshit, to be honest.
Oh, yeah, eh?
But that's almost...
We say that.
I guess. Yeah, that's an exaggerated thing, but I guess. Any fucking ways. So this episode, Billy Breaks a Chain, is basically about luck and bad luck or good luck. We get a lot of good appearances from lifelong episode... contenders, I guess. We got Ida's back in this.
Ida's back. Haircut. Irene's back.
Oh, dude, Irene's back, and she's like...
She's hippie as ever.
Stars,
they're studying the stars.
Yeah, and they're both kind of just sassy as ever. I do like the Irene-Ida combo. I like that just the same way I like the Pete-Lisa combo.
Pete-Lisa is better than Ida-Irene. They're both... Ida and Irene are both so shitty.
I think Pete and Lisa really like balance each other out. I'm into it. Also, Pete, low-key, might be my favorite character. I'm going to say that right now. I think Pete's my favorite character.
Pete's pretty fire.
He's my favorite dude. He's
always giving away coins. He's always making the
guy just has something going on. And I stand by, I don't think he cares about anything. And I can respect that. The guy's a bit of a nihilist, you could say. He's just down to fucking party.
Floats.
He's a floater. I'm into it. Okay, so of course the main character of this episode, Billy, is he's a goalie for the local Degrassi hockey team, I guess.
I want to say flat out that almost nothing really happens in this episode.
Yeah, it's just it's like a wandering gust of wind that just kind of drifts its way.
Like shit just kind of like happens that doesn't really matter. Like for example, the new friend group that we've been recently introduced to is Casey, Lisa. They were already crew at one point. Aden, Pete, Toss, and Billy.
Right. So that's that's the new like quadrugroup.
Yeah, quadrugroup.
There you go.
So basically, Billy's busy. He can't hang out right now because he's trying out for hockey, and he'll make his own luck. He's not going to rely on luck or skill or superstition. And then next thing you know, he gets a fucking chain letter that says, It's like a bad chain email
we
that
gotta
says,
talk about this. We gotta talk about this.
if you don't send out 5 more letters like this, then you're gonna fucking die.
And your whole family will get hung in a closet.
Yeah.
It's like those stupid emails you'd get, like, maybe even like copy pasted on MSN back in the day.
Yeah.
Or like still, I'm sure they exist to some degree, but maybe for like younger people.
Well, there's still junk chain emails that go around or whatever.
Yeah, so basically take that, like electronic equivalent you might be used to, I guess, or you might remember from days of old, and bring that even further back, and it's literally a letter he gets in the mail, which is kind of weird. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like this like 10-year-old getting this like chain mail is a little strange.
It is weird. First of all, who knows fucking Billy's name and the fact that he lives at that house?
Yeah, and
address.
I thought there would be a point where like we'd find out who sent it to him, but like.
Honestly, I could care less what fucking happened to this letter. I thought it was so stupid.
It was just, I thought it was really funny at first, in all honesty, because like, that's just so weird. That's like something that would, like, this is the most dated episode yet, kind of thing.
Got a letter, Billy.
But then it just, like, even just me trying to, like, talk about what's happened in it, it just putting me to sleep a little bit.
Very basically, Billy is like, I'll make my own luck. Then he gets a bad luck letter, and then he gets bad luck, and then he follows the letters, things, and then he gains confidence again, and he doesn't have bad luck, and he makes the hockey team. Somewhere in there, the rest of the crew is trying to get Ida's old clubhouse. So we get
the B plot's the better of the episode.
Yeah,
I think
the B plot is better.
Yeah, the B plot's
so we get to see the fucking clubhouse back in action again.
And Ida's just being a huge bitch as always.
Yeah.
Like they go and ask her, like, hey, Ida, we have the clubhouse. And she's doing tarot cards randomly with Irene.
Yeah, with Irene. She's like, it's not in the stars today.
Which actually was kind of hilarious.
Can't make any big decisions today. Irene, can you talk some sense into her? It's just not in the stars.
Yeah, and then I guess while that's going on, Billy's stressing about this chain letter. He doesn't know what to do about it. And so he goes to the clubhouse, just happens to know they're there, sure. And he's like, hey, which one of y'all did this to me? And they're like, what are you talking about, Billy? And he gets to the point that, hey, I got this letter, but I don't know where it's coming from. And he tries to get better luck, so our boy Pete gives him a luck coin, I guess.
And that fixes his luck problems. But basically all that happens is he gets confidence again.
Which is lovely. That's great for Billy.
There's a great slow shot of a tree because he gets a kite out of a tree, and then they show the slow shot of the tree like you're supposed to understand that Billy's got confidence now because he climbed the tree.
I completely zoned out around the time of that happening. I don't remember that happening.
It wasn't worth watching, boy.
One other point of this episode that was worth noting, and I liked actually, was our boy Squeeze, the rival goalie on Billy's hockey team.
Yeah, I love that he's named Squeeze, by the way.
It's like one of those weird things. Like, I feel like in the 80s and 90s, everyone had a weird name. Like, hey, I'm Fart. You know what I mean? Like, oh, that's just fucking, that's just Fart and Zoinks over there.
That's just Toe. Good old Toey.
Yeah, people had weird nicknames back then. You know, I'm Stink Muffin. Nice to meet you. Like, so I guess I guess this guy named Squeeze.
It's fucking random dude named Squeeze who's competing against Billy to be the goalie on the team.
Okay, but Squeeze has the best part of the whole movie, our whole episode, because doesn't he win? Like,
he wins $5 from a bag of chips.
He wins $5. Which is so great. That's such a 1984 thing to happen. He won $5 from a bag of chips, and he's telling, I think, Billy, maybe Lisa or someone, Billy and Pete maybe, and
Billy and Casey.
Oh, Billy and Casey, and they're like, oh, that's awesome, and Squeeze is like, well, when you're hot, you're hot. He just walks away.
Scene ends. Move on. Thanks,
Squeeze. Squeeze is nothing but an asshole, straight up. Like, he's just the fucking dick.
Every time Billy passes Squeeze is like, don't fucking count on it, Billy. You're not making the team,
and
Billy.
Even when Billy makes the team, Squeeze does like a gag almost, where he's like, guess I made it, but I'm number 2 to you, and if you slip up at all, you know I'm in there. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And Billy's like 6 years old, that he's like, yahoo!
He's like, yahoo! Thanks, God. Billy. This is just before he says, good luck, Billy.
Yeah.
Or good luck, Squeeze, I mean.
Yeah, and then, the episode ends pretty much right there.
And there's fucking nothing to it because this episode is dull and lame.
Chuck he's the hockey manager. That's nice.
Oh yeah, Chuck's the manager. I think it's really weird that these age groups are crossing over. Like, I don't remember ever being that close to a couple grades ahead of me.
No, I was always very tightly wound with, like, my age group. Or my grade, I guess.
Yeah, and like anything above, you knew like a couple people,
and like anyone down below. Well, I guess not. Yeah, I wasn't that much of a dick. At least I hope I wasn't. But I kind of like see Ida's perspective, where like she treats the younger kids as like, you guys are kids, even though they're only like a year younger than you.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of remember that being a thing where it's like, I'm in grade 6 and you're in grade 5. You're so much younger than me.
Yeah.
Even though in fucking reality, not at all.
Yeah.
But, you know,
I just remember not, like, grades below me in elementary school, I remember, like, not even really considering them. Like, barely knowing they were around.
Dude, you sound a little bit like Ida. Some Ida? You got some Ida in you? No, I'm kidding. I know exactly what you're talking about. That's.
I kind of just forgot they existed. The older grades you looked up to, and then you knew like a couple of them because you like him past, and then you would brag to your buds like, "Huh, I know that guy."
When you're hot, you're hot.
Yeah, when you're hot, boy.
That's a fire fucking saying. Only Squeeze would say something like that.
Oh man,
if you were to have like a mid '80s nickname, what would it be?
Like fucking Chancho.
Chancho. All right. I kind of want like Burger Nugget.
Burger Nugget.
Or just maybe Nugget. Hey, Nugget.
Nugs.
Nugs. Yeah, I want Nugget.
Little Nugs.
I think call me Little Nugget. Little Nuggy.
I think I want Chanch. Yeah, Chancho. Chancho in Spanish, I think, means pig.
Oh, okay. El Chancho. El Pollo Loco. I don't know Spanish.
Maybe I get people to call me GIP, and then instead of calling me GIP, they just start calling me Funny Colors.
Sure.
Hey!
Wow, that's fine.
Children joke.
That's good shit. I'm into it. I would also like to go to Penn Island when I'm older, wouldn't you? Would you want to go to Penn Island?
I guess.
Oh, you want to go to Penis Land? Whoa, I can't believe you want to go to Penis Land. Wow. God, this is terrible.
I didn't know that. All right.
I'm really trying my hardest not to feel like I'm incredibly bored watching this right now.
I'm super bored.
Like, we got sucked in. I think we just became 10-year-old versions of ourselves like 2 minutes ago.
I almost feel zombified. It's like I numbed my adult half of my brain.
Well, you know, for listeners out there, if you guys don't know, last summer me and Daniel watched every episode of 2.5 Men in under a month. And we put out 3 episodes of the Second Viewing podcast about that.
It could get a lot worse.
It could be a lot worse, but you know that was an interesting thing because that was like almost every day for a month we'd sit down and do that. Like we had a couple days off, but it just meant like every other day would be worse, basically.
Yeah.
This we record like less often, of course, but you know we record a bit more because the actual coverage of that was in a way pretty sparse, honestly.
It was sparse, yeah. It was like,
so that's why we wanted to do this a little different, just so we could actually cover the show as it's happening, as we're watching it. Because when we were doing 2.5 Men, like, fuck, did we have so many things to say about it, things we hated, things we thought were funny. You know, there's when you watch over 100 episodes of a show, there's going to be things you hate, love, and despise. You know, it's going to happen.
100%. You probably noticed already that through the course of these last 10 episodes, our opinions of characters have changed and gone back and been sideways, and I guess the show is like you grow with the show as the show grows too.
And that's the fun of it, I guess, in a way. And I think hopefully we'll get a bit more of that connection in terms of covering it when we get to like junior high and get. Well,
I'm just looking forward to forgetting the kids on Degrassi Street.
Well, it's the kind of thing where it just doesn't matter. Like all this shit is so it's just so minuscule. Whereas from what I remember from Degrassi Junior High, it's kind of like it's a little relatable enough.
Yeah.
Where it's like everything we see in this show, it's like as if these fucking kids are doing this. Like they're way too much. Unless we were just lazy fucking kids, which I don't really think we were. Like these kids are doing so much shit consistently. It's really weird.
It is very weird.
And now we're at the point where like this like when he starts playing hockey like a normal kid thing, it's like boring. Because usually they're like joining a newspaper and like doing some weird shit.
The fact this guy's playing hockey is like, okay, been there, done that, boy. Come on, open another fucking newspaper.
Yeah, right.
Fucking, let's become backyard surgeon, start selling your extra organs.
Dude, and they always are just trying to make fucking money. They're always selling money.
Always hustling.
They're trying to make cash, which I can respect. They're like, hey, we set up a haunted house, 25 cents, everyone.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of like that, but dang. Actually, I wouldn't trust Pete with my money, though, straight up.
Fuck no. Pete's going to make some investments, boy.
Pete's about to just drop that on, like, some licorice or some shit. I don't trust Pete for a minute. Love the guy, but I would not give him my money. Fuck. Okay, well, what do you think? What do you think is the lesson of the day for Billy Breaks the Chain?
Don't rely on luck or be confident or something like that. I don't know.
Or I guess, would it be like you make your own luck?
I guess. Yeah, you make your own luck.
Sure. Let's go with that.
I guess.
Oh my god. Okay, that was Billy Breaks the Chain, and that has been the last 3 episodes we covered of the Kids of Degrassi Street. This has been episode 4 of Your Ass is Degrassi.
We'll catch you guys next time on episode 5, where we dive into a little bit more of disc number 2
we'll
of
be bringing more.
Kids on Degrassi Street.
And if you guys want to hear more from us, you can check out our sister programming under the Second Viewing banner, where we have the Second Viewing podcast and also Off the Cuff, which come out every alternating Monday. We have some cool off-the-cuff stuff coming out.
We've recently checked out cool movies like Spider-Man Homecoming.
Stuff like that's probably out. You can take a look at it, as well as some Second Viewing podcast stuff. It should be out as well by the airing of this particular episode. And you can look back to the next Friday. We'll be talking about, as Daniel said, episode 5's episodes that are going to get covered in there. But that's probably it, I think. Any closing notes here, man?
As always, guys, check us out on social media if you want to hear more. We do a great look, so make sure to peep game on that. We're doing a little bit of a canoeing trip this year, so there's going to be some fire lake looks. We do a lake lookbook every year.
Yeah, look out for that. It's in the works currently. I would say it's about like 40% done.
I was going more of the 60.
Okay, well, I think maybe on different levels you have to
All
level
right,
a little bit.
yeah, all right.
You have to even out. It sounds like a 50 to me. But yeah, so of course, check us out on all social media. Subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on SoundCloud. Check us out on all the like podcast bay and podcast aggregator things. We're there. Google Play Music, Stitcher, iTunes, all that shit.
We tweet.
Yeah. Well, we'll try to. I'm trying to tweet. I'm trying to get there.
We're trying to tweet.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. As always, we'll see you guys next week. I'm Kyle.
I'm Dan.
Talk to you later.